on Channel 9. A con man takes Mayberry tomorrow at 5 on 9.
It's the ABC News from New York, World News Tonight, starring Dr. Ernest Grabow.
Good evening. Welcome to ABC's World News Tonight. My name is Dr. Ernest Grabow, and I am the Professor Emeritus at Farouk U University in Madison, Wisconsin. Now, we're on with the news. Let's see now, what looks good today? Okay, the national bargaining between the Western Electric Company and the Communication Workers of America is moving from Greensboro to Washington, D.C. today in an effort to end the nationwide strike by 52,000 communication workers. You think you've had trouble catching your phone calls recently? I'm telling you that I tried to call one of my old buddies in medical school a number of days ago and I couldn't even get the operator. So what do you think of that? CWA negotiations with the installation of Divisional Headquarters Western Electric, a subsidiary of AT&T, and we all know about them, are one of the 3 remaining sets of the nationwide negotiating delay acts in order to take the walkout seriously. Now, talks are also underway with the disputes concerning the Chesapeake and Potomac telephone companies and the Bell Telephone Company of Pennsylvania. I reckon all them coal miners up there are raising Cain and raising hell in kind. Southern Bell, which serves 4 states including North Carolina, and the CWA reached agreement on Friday. The CWA represents more than 700 Southern Bell workers, and all those workers, overpaid as they are striking this day for more money. For more on this issue, we take you to AT&T headquarters in Washington, D.C. with special correspondent Rick Randall. Take it, Rick.
Ernest, this is Rick Randall at AT&T headquarters in Washington, D.C. We believe that we have right here a picture, the first ever seen by the American public, of the ringleader behind the strike that has paralyzed over 3 million telephone customers in the United States over the past 3 weeks. We understand that the informant that we have pictured here is a con man, a mafia leader, a gangster type person from the word go. We would like to show you, the American public, his picture now, so that you, Ernest, and everyone concerned who is watching ABC News presently will know that this man has been responsible for the phone strike that has plagued America. Leaving you with his picture, this is Rick Randall, AT&T headquarters, Washington, D.C.
Okay, thank you, Rick Randall at AT&T headquarters, Washington, D.C. for that glowing report. In other news today, Soviet President Yuri Andropov said Friday that if the U.S. of A. would accept Moscow's terms for limiting medium-range, what you call your basic medium-range nuclear missiles, that Soviet Union would destroy any missiles that it was planning to put in Europe. In other words, if we get rid of ours, they'll get rid of theirs. Now, friends, if you believe that, I got a 1948 Dodge I'd like to sell you at a very inexpensive price. Andropov's new offer, the latest in a series of moves that he has made since last December, marks a change from the Kremlin's earlier insistence on the right to move any of the mobile SS-219-734 missiles now targeted to hit Western Europe at any moment into Siberia and out of range of Europe. Now, friends, let me just tell you, let me get rid of the news copy, because what we need right here is a little editorial comment. Now, you can take Mr. Andropov and drop him off at the nearest train station for all I care, because you and I have been listening to these communists and believing them for too long. I'm here to tell you that this communist pinko has given us a bunch of bull, and we, the American people, have to take it no longer. He says that he's going to get rid of all of the SS-219-347 missiles, and that no longer will they pretend to put anything targeted upon Western Europe any longer. Now, I want you all to go to your televisions and to go to your radios And I want you to pick up your newspapers and listen to everything this wonderful man has to say. Open your ears and open your eyes and make sure that you have that liberal understanding. And then I want you to take everything that these communist pinkos have to say and throw it out the freaking window. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you begin trusting communists, then you are on the road to Hades. And we all know what that means. Now, I am a USA #1 grade A American, and I'm here to tell you that Andropov is not one to be trusted. So I hope that we've had enough on that issue this evening. Now, we'd like to present for you an interpretation and a definition of the weather pattern that we have been experiencing in America over the last 3 weeks. As you know, everything in this country is almost dead. We're experiencing a dry spell that we ain't seen since the days of my mama and my daddy. So now for the weather, that old weather girl herself, a new employee here at ABC News, World News Tonight, your friend and hers, Aunt Ethel. Take it, and
Hi! I'm so happy to have this new job here at ABC News, World News Tonight. And it all came to be because of my wonderful relationship with Dr. Grabow. Friends, as he told you, the weather in this country has been crappy over the last few weeks. We've had no rain or too much rain. Now let's go to the map and see just what's been happening. Okay? Okay. Come on. Now, first of all, we've got to start the forecast and explain a little bit about what's been happening by going all the way to Russia. Now, over the Soviet Union for the past couple of days, weeks, and months, there's been a lot of hot air, as Grabow told you about, coming from the direction of the Kremlin. And all of that hot air has moved in an easterly direction around the globe, so that it went around the North Pacific by way of the eastern Siberian Sea, all the way around to Alaska, where it sort of dipped down and came up by Baja and Tijuana, where it made its way through the western United States, on through the Midwest, into the east. Now, all of that hot air produced a great deal of heat and humidity. And you can see by the map that everything in the U.S. has almost turned brown. We've had only 4.5 inches average per state this whole summer season. Now, all of this hot air combined with the uppermost occurrences which have been happening around El Salvador and Nicaragua have meant that we have not had the abundant rainfall which we need to produce all of those wonderful crops that we find so helpful to our bodies in these summer months. Now, my prediction in terms of what I believe will happen over the next days and weeks, we're going to find that the fall weather will produce for us an abundance of rainfall. As a matter of fact, I believe that it's going to rain so much that we're going to have to build arks, and we're going to have to take out flood insurance, and we're going to have to make sure that we're buoyant so that in case the rains do come, we'll all be prepared. Mr. Grabow, this is Aunt Ethel, bringing to you the weather forecast and an interpretation and definition of what has been going on this summer in these United States. Back to you, Dr. Grabow.
Well, believe it or not, friends, that was Aunt Ethel with the weather. Now, we're going to be back to more World News Tonight, ABC style, after this commercial announcement. Happy days, friends. Are you tired of being that old wet noodle around your neighborhood? Have you just about had it with that old mashuk in the body of yours? Well, we've got just what you've been looking for. Something you need. The gosh-given first professional school of wrestling. For only $195, you can enroll in a 4-hour crash course in the body sport that turns women on. Pick up the phone. Give us a call. 527-4123.
Sitting there at your breakfast table, or you're driving along in the automobile, or you're there at the bench in the factory where you work, or you're running the sweeper through the house, you're getting it all cleaned up for the weekend, and like that, you're taken up in the clouds of glory to go to be with Jesus. Isn't that marvelous? I'm all covered with goose pimples. I don't know where you know what goose pimples are or not, but they run all up and down my spine when I get to thinking about that.
That's right, friends, for you too can experience goose pimples galore at the Bill Darling Crusade and Auction for 4 days only at the Roarstown Fairgrounds. Come and see Bill in action as prophecy is told and miracles are wrought. That's September 4, 5, 6, and 7 in Roarstown, 4 blocks down from the Volunteer Fire Department on Highway 497. No cameras, please.
Today, good over the higher, good news to say, look over that way, good over the high. Don't get that higher. Good evening. My name is Ken Kashiwahara, and I am on the Japan beat. Now a new feature for ABC News, World News Tonight, along with all of my colleagues, namely patriarch, compatriot, and comrade, Dr. Ernest Grabow, who has given to me many ideas on how to report the news from the Orient. I say to you, which means a very wonderful good news day to you in the U.S. of A. from me, Ken Kashiwahara, ABC News reporting. For you. While you were gone away on that commercial break, our good old weather woman, Aunt Ethel herself, came over to me and ripped my clothes off and did bodily harm to my sexual innuendo. Now, I know, but praise be to Jesus himself. I'm here to tell you and to be witness to the fact that that woman is a human time bomb. So I, Dr. Ernest Grabow, will no longer be in the news, doing the news for you here at ABC World News Tonight. Instead, this man right here is going to take over anchor duties for me. Now, I know, he looks like a putz. But even
strolling, oh yes, I don't know, I was just kind of, that's kind of a stay here song, here's a leaving song. Well, I'm stacking up shirts and things, packing up and fixing to go. For some little reason that I can't remember in this leaving, this grieving me so. But just one little kiss could put all this leaving behind.